Do you think that Momoshiki gave Boruto the karma before, during, or after his death?
Depends on if you use the anime or the manga.
I hate that.
Anime, I know, they're completely different stories. I think the anime version makes the most sense in my personal opinion because it indicates that Momoshiki did it before he died, which is what they say. Everyone says in the manga, he must have done it before he died, but it's like in the manga, it looks like he's dead already, then does it as a soul, as a spirit, like a ghost. So the anime version makes more sense.
Yeah.
He did it before he died. But in the manga, you could imply that he basically attached some of his chakra to Boruto in some way, kind of like Minato and Naruto, so that he could then stick around for a few minutes to give karma. That would have to be like a thing that we weren't directly shown, but he just did. Which, honestly, I'm almost more okay with than I am just he died and is just being a ghost for a little bit. Then it's like, okay, why can't Ishiki do that? Like, so I like the anime version best.
I like to think, I do like to think it does have to do with the soul. I like to think that you don't have to touch the person physically to implant the karma. It seems like that because that's how it always happens. But I think one's soul has to touch someone else's soul in order to implant the karma. So with the case of Ishiki, that's why it didn't work, even though it technically did at first, but on the Shadow Clone, but it didn't because that's not his soul. And in case of Momoshiki, he's on the other side of the Rasengan, unless he speed blitzed everyone and just went to Boruto, and then after implanting karma, went back around to be hit by the Rasengan again. So I don't think he touched him there. You could say Jougan shenanigans to where maybe the Jougan.
I don't think the Jougan.
Do you think like Momoshiki went into Boruto's mind space into the anime, or did Boruto go into Momoshiki's mind space?
They both did the thing where they it was Momoshiki's mind space based off the anime and how it did it in episode 293. It looks like it's a Momoshiki mind space. Well, no, the way it looks is basically this is just Momoshiki's mind space power, I guess, is it takes the environment you're in and he just makes the color red. Like they were just in the air of like the surrounding rubble and everything was there from the Rasengan, and he just like made it red. But
yeah, but not in the anime. I don't think that was something else in the anime.
In the anime, it
was something else. Plus, he had the Jougan
rubble in the air, so it's like I don't know if they're just in the air, and that's all it is.
Nah, I think it was something else.
Well, then it's Momoshiki's mind space based off later anime when he makes the background of the exact same red color. The red sky thing he does. So it's implied it's Momoshiki's.
I like that better anyways if it's like Momoshiki's domain or even his alternate dimension, which could be cool. He brought Boruto into the parallel dimension that he sucks chakra out of. That could be cool because he was using the Jougan.
Literally just Momoshiki's mind space. It's the same as every other Ninshu moment when people's chakras touch. Okay, we've seen plenty of examples of this. Naruto and Sasuke, Rasengan versus Chidori, Talky's fist bump things, Naruto and Obito tug of war, just Momoshiki's mind space. And Hagoromo did the same thing with Naruto and Sasuke. Mind space Ninshu transferred it, gave him power and a seal. I'm sure Momoshiki can do the same thing.
Yes, we've seen instances like this before, but we don't know if it's the exact same thing. We just don't know.
It doesn't need to be the exact same thing. The point is, we've seen very similar concepts, so I don't see why Momoshiki couldn't do the same at that point.
Oh, it's not that he couldn't. It's whether or not he is.
Correct. I'm just telling you, but based off the anime, that's what he's seemingly doing. And I think the anime version makes the most sense. In the manga version, we don't have a clear answer. It still seems like it's a soul thing because it's Momoshiki's spirit seems to be what showed up at the end. Yeah. But as far as how he's doing that, it's more like weird.
So in the anime, episode 65, Boruto Rasengan's Momoshiki kills him. Do you think that like mind space moment that happened between Boruto and Momoshiki, was that before, during, or after Momoshiki died? That's the first question.
Okay, so assuming we take into account that Boruto had clashed Odama Rasengans with Momoshiki and was able to overpower him, if we're looking at the anime account and the fact that in the anime version Boruto has the Jougan, as Boruto was going in for the finishing blow, we see that he was able to, I don't know, go into this mindscape as he was, as the Jougan was still activating. But one clear cut thing that was happening was that you see energy is pulsating in the pupils of the Jougan. So it's likely that
like it
as
does
he
a
was,
zoom in. As if it's like it zoom in and then zoom out on the Jougan when Boruto does Rasengan when he's in the mind space, as if it has something to do with the Jougan. And Boruto uses the Jougan the entire time he's in there as well.
I thought
they
but I thought they did the same thing with Momoshiki's eye, where they zoomed in on his eye too.
Oh, that's like during the scene, not going into it.
I have to double check. But I thought they did it just like Naruto and Sasuke, where they zoom in on both of their eyes when they do before they go in the Ninshu moment.
Yeah, so what happened was, as Boruto is killing Momoshiki, we see that his eye is just pulsating with energy. And so this leads us to believe, okay, as Boruto killed Momoshiki, he must have had the power to either bring Momoshiki to another mindscape, or this is probably all Momoshiki's doing right after, right as he's being killed. So it's weird because in the manga, they're just at the destroyed god tree, and Momoshiki's just sitting there, just watching all this is happening. And he just stops time. He pretty much like stops time, but it's weird because it could either be Boruto's perception of time, or Momoshiki actually being able to have the power to stop time itself.
No, it has to be time because Sasuke was able to sense it, I suppose.
Yeah, and he had his Rinnegan activated the entire time, which is pretty interesting. Because
maybe it's just me, Sasuke. It seemed. Okay, I'm not going to claim it is. It seemed. Going to emphasize that, as if Sasuke was purposefully like pretending to go along with it so he could witness it, as if he could have done something such as move or speak.
I thought it was more like he couldn't move, but he could see with his Rinnegan. But I mean, it's up to
he said he could.
What you choose, really. Interpret it.
No, he said he could. He said he sensed something. Like he said, it wasn't simple paralysis. He said he felt like time had stopped.
Yeah, I'm sure time did stop, but it seems like he just was able to interact in some way, and it would be in Sasuke's character to sort of just eavesdrop on that and not do anything, I think.
Because he needs to get more information.
Yep. Either way, but I mean, we don't know whether he could move or not. He doesn't imply in either direction.
He says that wasn't anything simple like paralysis. It felt like he stopped time itself. No one other than you and I with my Rinnegan even seemed to notice what took place. This is all in chapter 11. This is on page 5. On page 5 of chapter 11.
And like Boruto is able to move, so I don't see why, if Momoshiki was doing it, that Sasuke wouldn't be able to move either, if he's able to perceive it.
Because which kind of lets us know what exactly is happening with that.
So I have a question. Does this mean that anyone with a Rinnegan can sense when time is stopped? Or is it just...
I think Sasuke in particular has a like special Rinnegan. Like I don't think Pain could have done anything there. I think he would have been frozen in time.
So it's just Sasuke. That's it.
Yeah, it's probably because of his straight line Shoku Tomoes. He has a special Rinnegan.
I was gonna say it could also just be because his Rinnegan is a result of Hagoromo Otsutsuki's chakra. So it could be like an Otsutsuki related thing. And then that would mean Madara has the potential to have done the same, although he doesn't have a Tomoe Rinnegan. He's got the Choku Tomoe Sharingan.
Madara already does something similar to Momoshiki, to where he's using alternate dimensions via limbo. So I think he could do it.
Okay.
Because those alternate dimensions also interact with the reality, which means it is still possible that Momoshiki was using not a mindscape, but brought Boruto into his alternate dimension. Similar to a limbo.
But
I think it's possible.
I would be fine with all that. I thought just like actually like discussed it at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to wait.
Which they're
this
never
long.
going
They
to,
could have
but-
just done it. Like, they could have done it when Momoshiki did it again in the code arc. He could have just like started explaining it or some shit. Like, you know, like
How
at this
like
point, it's
how
like-
he's able to
yeah.
Way too late, yeah. Bro,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Kamui, in my movie at the end, I'm referencing like direct, clear inspiration of this Momoshiki prophecy scene, the mindscape. It's blatant, like clear as day, and it's so freaking cool. You're gonna love it. I do. It's so
Okay.
good. You'll see. Anyways, saving that as a surprise, but I'm gonna tell you now anyway.
Yeah, for when the movie.
But
finally
so
comes out.
Immortal.
Mhm.
Immortal, what do you think is likely, or do you have like an answer that is a stretch, but like it's still possible for what Momoshiki was doing there? Like, was he bringing Boruto into his parallel dimension? Was that Boruto's mindscape with the Jougan? Was that Momoshiki's mindscape? Was that Momoshiki's time stop ability, and that was just reality, and it just looks like that because it's the red shift of the hue of the time stop, or what was happening?
Okay, so I was led to believe that maybe it was the power of Boruto's Jougan being able to transport him and Momoshiki to like some sort of alternate mindscape dimension. But then I kind of realized that it's really just Momoshiki's doing. But it could also be the Jougan's doing as well. Because if Boruto didn't have the Jougan in the scene, it would have been the same exact thing that happened in the manga, where they're just at the destroyed god tree, and Momoshiki just stops time.
Well, what about this? Because I think Momoshiki knew that Boruto had the Jougan. Momoshiki waited for the exact moment Boruto activated his Jougan, and that's the moment he froze time. So technically, in that moment where it was frozen, was where the Jougan was being used, in that instantaneous moment.
See,
No,
my
but
why
here's
was
the thing.
is that doesn't apply to the Kodark situation, so I don't think the Jougan.
But this looks different from that, anyways. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
can
here-
say it's a red shift hue or whatever, but
No.
it's clearly different. It looks so clearly different.
Oodie, that didn't happen in the code arc. In fact, if they had a scene, since it's something akin to the anime, they kind of reference back to that scene, but they were just mentioning stopping time instead of talking about that dimension that they were in.
No, I
So
know.
it's a
So
lot
I'm saying that Momoshiki can stop time and do the red hue shift, but I'm saying the alternate dimension or whatever was the
I'm gonna
Jougan.
go look at
Momoshiki
it
just stopped time
later.
at the Jougan.
Actually, I guess I could do it on my phone from up here. I'm gonna look at that because I think you could interpret it as just it being the dimension they were already in, but they were just in the sky. But hold on, I gotta.
Well, it doesn't
But
make
you
sense for
also-
them to be in the sky, I don't think, because they're floating there, first of all.
They're
Second of all, no
also-
one else was there. Like, we didn't see anyone else there.
Well,
It's
they
not
know
just
us
the debris.
perspective to
Well,
It's not
see that, but-
debris.
Well,
There isn't
it's-
debris in the air anyways.
Well, there's also some sort of spiraling black vortex underneath them. If you paid attention to the
Yeah,
scene.
like it was
Yeah,
just
it's
different.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I'm
like
was
looking
we
at. I
just
don't.
just want to reference it so I can actually remember exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
If they ever
fine.
bring that scene into the manga, they have to let us know if that's some
Nah,
sort
bro,
of
it's too late.
dimension
They already
that's
screwed up. They already
Yeah.
screwed up by not doing it together.
yeah.
If they do it now,
They're
they
probably
kick
not going to do
ass.
that, but here's the thing. Oh my god! If they do it, like, here's the thing. They should have probably hinted at the fact that the world they're in probably could have been like some sort of alternate dimension other than the Pure Lands, or maybe it's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like we said, it's just some mindscape thing that Momoshiki or maybe the Jougan is capable of creating.
Technically,
Who knows?
Boruto and them were in the air, by the way, because the god tree it blew up below them, so they are in the air. Just saying, but
Yeah, but
Barely.
they're also.
but they are in.
But
the air.
they're also. But I've
Not a
also
long
noticed.
fall.
But I've also
And they
noticed
would
that
fall
while
anyway.
I've also noticed that
Sorry,
while
go ahead.
Boruto is in the dimension, that his Jougan Eye is still activated, but it's also still pulsing with energy. So it could also be the Jougan's doing. I don't know. It's hard to make out whether or not if it's Momoshiki's or Boruto or the Jougan's like just doing.
I think it is
'Cause-
both. Because we know
Yeah, 'cause-
Momoshiki has to be doing something. Momoshiki did stop time. Momoshiki's clearly interacting with Boruto there. But it's so focused on the Jougan. Again, going into the scene, coming out of the scene, during the scene. Everything is just focused on Jougan.
Look,
Even technically,
man.
Momoshiki's prophecy is about
I-
Boruto's blue eyes. What's the freaking
You're gonna-
Jougan? There you
look,
go.